Hello friends, this video is to give you a knowledge about how to prepare for the UPSC prelims. And friends, I will give you a strategy how to study each and every subject. So coming to the first subject, that is with respect to the history. See friends, we can divide history into three parts, that is ancient, medieval and modern. And for ancient and medieval history, these are the books which you need to go through. So if you take NCERT and if you start with the 6th NCERT, then it may be very difficult for you to follow that because you don't know the chronology. So what I suggest you is first go with the Tamil Nadu history book. Fine. So the PDF is available in the net or even you can order online. So start with the Tamil Nadu State Board Class 11 book, and after you complete this book, this will give you an idea about the chronology, and after that you start with the 6th NCERT. So friends, for ancient and medieval you have 4 NCERTs, that is standard 6th, 7th and themes of Indian history part 1 and themes of Indian history part 2. Fine. So this is how you have to approach ancient and medieval history. And friends, again, many may suggest you to go for the old NCERT book, that is with respect to the ancient and medieval. But however, the new NCERT is in the market and even it covers the same dimension. So it is always good to go with the new strategy. And even in the UPSC prelims, there are many questions which are directly reflected from these books. Fine. So the idea is you have to develop the basic idea first from the +1 book, that is Tamil Nadu book, and then you have to go through this. And when you go through these 4 NCERT, you will come across arts and culture. Yes friends, even arts and culture plays an important role in the UPSC prelims. And the point to be noted is many skip this part, saying that it is not important. And friends, let me tell you this. Every year you get nearly about 4 to 5 questions from this arts and culture, and one could imagine the role which 4 questions can play in your UPSC prelims. Fine. So you have only 100 questions. So you have to go through arts and culture. And friends, again, for the arts and culture, there is one book which is available in the market that is called as Nitin Singhania. It is a good book. It is very lucid. You can complete it very quickly, and especially the first 2 chapters is important for the UPSC. And again, if you come to the NCERT part, you have an introduction to the Indian art part 1. Even this book is good. So what I suggest you is to go through these 2 books simultaneously. And friends, again, let me tell you this. What you need to do is complete this art and culture section beforehand itself. That is before 5 or 6 months of the examination. So suppose you have prelims in June or July, then I would suggest you to complete this arts and culture in December. Take notes, complete this arts and culture in December. Fine. And I can also assure you that you will forget all the information which you have read. So what you need to do is you have to take notes and you have to revise that note before the examination. So it is like before 1 week of the prelims, you have to revise that note. See, before 1 week of the prelims, you cannot read the whole book. Fine. So make your note as exhaustive as possible, that is covering all the points, and it is also very easy to cover because Nitin Singhania is very lucid. So this is how you have to go through the arts and culture. And while reading Nitin Singhania, you simultaneously cover this and introduction to the Indian art. Because see, if you cover Nitin Singhania, say a Harappan chapter, then you also have an Harappan chapter in the NCERT book. So if you combine and study both, you can easily complete both the book. Fine. And I personally believe that the time you should take for completing ancient medieval arts and culture is 10 to 15 days. So not more than that, friends. You have to complete that beforehand. See, hardly you have 7 books. So 5 for that and 2 for you. You have 7 books and you have to complete this in 15 to 20 days. No other go. And coming to the modern history part. And friends, let me tell you this. For modern history, the Spectrum is the best book. So you have Bipin Chandra, you have NCERT for modern history, but I would suggest you to choose any one and I would recommend Spectrum. Fine. So this is a one source book for the modern history. It is also useful for the mains examination, and in this modern history you have to concentrate more from 1885, that is after the formation of Indian National Congress until we gained independence. So this is the section you have to focus more because many questions are reflected from this area. And friends, again, if you don't have any background or you feel difficulty in understanding the history, then the easiest way to remember history is by watching a movie. So watch Gandhi. You have many documentaries on Ambedkar, Patel, Bhagat Singh. Fine. So watch these sort of movies, fix time so that you will understand the chronology. And once you tend to understand the chronology and the incidents, you can easily develop points after that. Fine. So stick to one book. Don't go for others. And this Spectrum is an excellent source for that. And even in this Spectrum, you have revision points. So no need for you to take notes from this book. See, if you want, you can take. But however, the gist of the chapter is already given in this book, so it eases your preparation. Fine. So this is how you have to cover ancient, medieval and modern India. And friends, again, let me tell you this. If you compare last year question paper, 1 or 2 questions may go out of box. So everyone cannot attempt all the 100 questions in UPSC. Fine. But however, if you complete these books, then majority of the question can be answered. Fine. Now coming to the next part, environment. So friends, UPSC say you do not require special knowledge on the subject. So a basic knowledge is what UPSC seek, and this is what the syllabus say. But however, many find questions from environment tricky. Fine. And friends, for environment, there is a specific way of going through the subject. Fine. And for that, you need to analyze the previous year question paper. But however, I will tell you the source. Fine. So for basic concepts, that is, say for concepts with respect to the greenhouse gas effect or ozone depleting substance or food web, food chain, ecological succession, you have many peculiar terms with respect to the environment. For that basic concept clarity, you can opt for any one of these two. That is a GK Today material on environment. It's an excellent material. If you can get in internet, well and good. Or you can go for Shankar Institute book on the environment. So you can opt any one. Both are equally good. But if you get GK Today, then opt for GK Today material. That is the static syllabus. Fine. And it is not only that, only this book covers all the basic concepts. Even NCERT, NIOS material are there. But if you want to have a compact meal, then these are the only option which is available. And friends, once you develop concept clarity, you have to work on other areas also. That is with respect to the Biosphere Reserve, National Park. You can see in UPSC every year a question from National Park or Biosphere Reserve is definitely asked. So hardly you have 20 Biosphere Reserve in India. And even for National Park, you have something about 100 or 150. So what you need to do is you have to go through the Wikipedia and mug all the Biosphere Reserve. No other way. And once you do that, you can easily mark the biosphere in the maps. Fine. And even for national park, there is no need for you to mug each and every national park. But what I would say is focus on northeastern states. So if you take Assam, there are only 5 national park which is available there. Or if you take Jammu and Kashmir, Tamil Nadu, you have only few. So instead of skipping the section, focus on one part of India so that you can eliminate in the UPSC prelims. That is, you can eliminate option in the UPSC prelim. For example, if you take northeastern states, then you have nearly about 20 to 25 national parks. Fine. And once you are familiar with that, it's more than enough for you to eliminate the options in the UPSC. Fine. So this is how you have to go with respect to the Biosphere Reserve and National Park. And again, you will come across many national parks in the newspaper. So you can also make a note of it. So this way you can accumulate knowledge over a period of days. And again, UPSC has a tendency to ask questions from summits, acts, organizations. Fine. And it is not something out of box. It is those summits or organizations which are frequently in the newspaper. For example, you have climate change meeting in Bonn right now. So you can expect a question with respect to the climate change convention. If you take 2016 paper, then you would have got questions about the climate change conventions. Nearly 3 to 4 questions were reflected in the UPSC prelims paper. It is because in 2015, Paris climate change deal happened. Fine. So you have to go through the newspaper. You have to go through the summits which is happening. And then what you need to do is you need to go to their website. From there, you have to accumulate source. So if you have Kigali agreement, then what you need to do is you have to go through the website of Montreal Protocol. So what you need to do is you need to Google it. And it is same with respect to the act. If you come across, say, Environmental Protection Act, then you have to go through the Environmental Protection Act. What are the provisions of the act? Fine. And even it is same with respect to the organization. So you have many organizations such as IUCN, BirdLife International. So what you need to do is you need to probe into the background. And for that you need to Google. And what is the source? Newspaper is the only source. No other go. Fine. Then again UPSC asks question from environmental current affairs. So actually what I told before is also current affairs, but however you have few items. Say for instance last year you have a question with respect to the Karai camel. That Karai camel was in the news. And even every now and then a news item with respect to the species or national parks or biological reserve or any environmental crisis or issues pops up frequently in the newspaper. You can also get questions from those. Fine. But however, if you want to have a basic knowledge knowledge about the endangered species, then you have a book which is given by the government of India, that is Book Trust of India published this book, but it only has endangered animals, not more than that. Fine, because UPSC has the tendency to even ask animal which was in the news. So dugong is one sort of example. Karai camel last year was one sort of example. Fine, but however, if you want to cover endangered species, then this book is a must for you. It is a 40 rupees book, and hardly it will take a day to cover this book, so you can go through this book if time permits. And this is how you need to cover environment. Fine, so for static you go for Shankar or GK Today static material, and for other things you need to do an extra work. Even in this book you have information about many international organizations and summit, but however, how you will come to know that which organization or summit is important? Fine, for that newspaper is the only way. Fine, then coming to the next subject, polity. And friends, this is the only book for Indian polity, and if you do mistake in polity in the prelims paper, then trust me, it is very difficult for you to clear this examination, because you have only one book for Indian polity and you need to cover each and every chapter in this book. It's not like UPSC is not going to ask you question from the fundamental rights, so I will skip fundamental rights for the prelims and I will focus only in the mains. So no, this will not going to help you, because you cannot predict UPSC. And even the questions are very dynamic in nature. Last year you got question with respect to the election commission, and the basic understanding is very essential when it comes to polity. So without knowing the meaning of democracy, there is no meaning of reading the preamble. Fine. So again, you need to have the knowledge on basics, and for basics you need to go through NCERT. And friends, let me tell you this, you take 3 days time for covering the polity NCERT. It will hardly take you 3 to 4 days. Social and political life NCERTs are very lucid in nature. You can easily cover those, and after covering that, I would recommend you to go with this only one book, that is called as Lakshmikant. And if you feel that no, I have covered Lakshmikant and I just want more and more to read about the polity, or you want to fall in love with the subject, then you can go with D.D. Basu. And friends, again, there is one way of reading this book. What you need to do is take a separate notebook and write down the important key points when you come across while reading this book. Say for instance, you come across a fact that joint sitting is not possible for the Constitution Amendment Bill. If you feel that this information is important, then please make a note of it or mark in the book. So it depends upon you what you want to prefer. So if you take notes, revise the notes again and again. So I would say that you should read this book until you feel you will not do any mistakes. And you also have questions to practice at the end of the book. Please practice that question. There are more than 400 or 500 questions which is given to you, and I hope that would be suffice for the Indian polity. Fine. And of course you have current affairs part with respect to the polity that you need to cover from the newspaper, no other go. But for the static syllabus, this book should be the Bible for Indian polity. And coming to the next subject, economics. See friends, for economics you need to have a good basics, and for that you need to go through this book, Introductory Macroeconomics. So this will give you the basic idea of budget, monetary policy, fiscal policy and so on. So if you go through this book, then yes, you will be having a good clarity with respect to the basics. And even I would suggest you to go through other NCERT, because hardly it will take you 2 to 3 days to complete the NCERTs of economics. All the books are very thin, so even there is no need for you to go and buy the NCERT. You can do it online by downloading the PDF. So it's a matter of 30 pages. But however, after completing this, you can go for Ramesh Singh or Sri Ram notes. So both are good. Ramesh Singh is preferred by many. But for prelims, this macroeconomics will help you to attend the static question. Fine, and you can develop the basics by reading the Ramesh Singh or through Sri Ram notes. And friends, again, in economics, current affairs plays a major role. So again, the newspaper cannot be omitted in economics. And for economics, what you need to do is you need to go through the world economic institutions like World Bank, IMF. You need to probe their backgrounds, and any key terms or any key summits should be noticed by you. For example, there was an outcome which was called as base erosion and profit sharing mechanism, and this was the outcome of OECD. So OECD happens to be an economic economic institution and base erosion profit sharing mechanism is one of the initiative of that. So you need to go through that. Fine. So you have to go into the background. So again, you need to go to their website in order to understand what was the outcome. Fine. See friends, why I am telling to go to their website is because you will have a complete picture. Instead of searching for materials here and there, you can rely on their particular website. And even if you see the question which was asked in UPSC, then you will know that the informations are being picked up from their website. Fine. So it is important to go to their particular website and search the background. And again, with economics, UPSC has the tendency to ask key term. For example, you have a term which is called as transfer pricing. So you need to know what is the meaning of transfer pricing. So newspaper cannot be omitted when it comes to economics, because if you take questions from economics part every year, 20 to 30 questions are asked in UPSC prelims, and out of that 60 to 70% are from current affairs. Fine. And friends, many say that economic survey and budget is important when it comes to the prelims, but I would say that it is more important to the mains when compared to the prelims. See, you may get one or two questions, but the cost benefit ratio should also be considered. So these two are important for the mains. There is no doubt in that. But for the prelims, you can select particular area which can be asked. Fine. So there is no need for you to go through the entire economic survey for the prelims in particular. And coming to the next part, geography. See friends, this is a subject where you require concept clarity. Without concept clarity, nothing will help you because the subject demands so. So you have geomorphology, climatology, which requires understanding. In order to have a clear understanding, what you need to do is you have to go through the NCERT. So 6th to 12th is the must. But however, if you think that you need to be more specific, then which are shown in the image right now is must for you. Without this, don't sit in the examination hall because you need to have a least preparation with respect to the geography. So if you have geography optional or if you are well versed in geography, well and good. But however, I feel that many say they have difficulty in geography, and for those, these two are must. Fine. And again, coming to the geography, many forget the fact that they need to go through Indian geography. That is, they need to have a basic knowledge about the Indian physiography. Many giving their attempts still don't have a basic clarity on the Indian physiography. This is the real scenario. So for that, you need to go through Indian physical environment. You need to have a basic clarity of rivers, mountains, peaks, passes, dams, so on. So map should be concentrated by you. Every year in UPSC, 5 to 6 questions are reflected from this area. You can take any question paper if you want to, but many skip this. So concentrate more on the maps. Fine. And when it comes to the current affairs for geography, you need to focus on the places which are in the news. That is, any important places which are frequently in the news, or even ethnic communities are in the news. And even you get newses with respect to the minerals, coals, and many projects are being bought up by the government with respect to the ports, road infrastructure, and so on. So again, newspaper is important. Fine. And friends, again, let me tell you this. Many also omit world physical geography. That is, important peaks of the world, important mountains of the world, important rivers of the world. See, UPSC doesn't ask this for the past 2 or 3 years, but it is not advisable to skip that. So also prepare for those. Fine. So 6th to 12th NCERT plus the newspaper is important for geography. And friends, again, if you want to go for further reading, then Go Chi Leong is the best book for world geography. That is world physical geography. And for Indian geography, if you want to probe more, then Kuller is the best book. It is read by many for the optionals, but you can selectively choose the topic. Even the PDF is available online. So you can choose the Indian physiography part for the deep analysis, because if you take last year question paper, then the type of question which is asked in the UPSC prelims want you to have a clear cut picture and in-deep knowledge of a particular thing. Fine. So for that, you need to go through Kuller. But however, NCERT will suffice to an extent, and if you have time, then go for Kuller and do selective reading. Fine. And again, coming to the next part, that is called as science. UPSC mentioned the term general science in a syllabus, and for science, again, NCERT is the must. And for science, current affairs is also important, because 60 to 70% of the question from science are from current affairs. Even conventionals are asked, but for the past 3 or 4 years, hardly few questions are asked from the conventionals. And if you cover NCERT, those can be answered. But for current affairs, you need to probe the newspaper. And for this, you have a program which is called a Science Monitor in Rajya Sabha TV. It's a weekly show. It's in English. So please go through that Science Monitor. It will bring in, say, 90% of the current current affairs with respect to the science. But however, newspaper has a holistic dimension when compared to this program. So newspaper means science and technology part of the Hindu, plus this science monitor is suffice for current affairs. But if you think that no, I am not familiar with the newspaper, then you can go for any compilation of any website or any institute, but that is going to be bulky, because I see many institute giving lot of materials, I would say a bulky material, and at the end of the day claiming that these many questions are reflected from our material. So if I give you say 600 or 700 news item, then obviously 3 to 4 will come in UPSC prelims. And even if you go through the newspaper, you have to go through that say 500 or 600 news item. Fine. But the difference is you will cover beforehand. You will not have a pressure. And for that, Science Monitor is the best video show presented by Rajya Sabha TV. Please refer this. Or you can also go for GK Today compilation material, which is also good. But again, there you need to pick up only the relevance news item. And then coming to the next part, that is called as current affairs plus international relations. See friends, already I have taken a video with respect to the international relations, where I have given you enough points how to cover international relation from the newspaper, and I have also given why Hindu newspaper is important and why you need to rely on the Hindu. Fine. So for current affairs, these are the 3 items. You have to go through the daily editorials of the Hindu, which is relevant to UPSC, daily news item from the Hindu, the PIB. Fine. And again, daily at 9 p.m. you have Air India news. So have the habit of listening FMs. So hardly a 15-minute show. Fine. Again, you have news analysis by All India Radio, which is very good. So if you cover these 3, then you are in the play. But if you think that no, I have skipped the news items, say from June to September I have not covered the newspaper, then no other go. You need to rely on the institute materials. And when it comes to the institute materials, then I would suggest 2. One is Vision. Vision is good, but again you need to cover the background when it comes to Vision. Fine. So Vision will give you the news item. You need to cover the background. And then if you think that no, Vision is not enough for me, I need more, then you can go for GK Today monthly compilation. So it is 70 or 80 rupees per month. You can collect that compilation. But again, you have to be selective when it comes to GK Today, because it also covers many news items which are important for bank examination. But for UPSC, even this is used. Fine. So select only those news items which is important from GK Today. So for compilation materials, you can refer these 2 or any one from these. Fine. So this is how you should go about. And then friends, let me give you a few suggestions and tips, because I feel this may again help you to speed up your preparation and to hit the point. Fine. So the first tip is don't go for extra material. See, what I have given you is more than enough. Or if you think you have any good alternative, then stick to that. But don't go for extra. Don't search more and more materials. Stop searching for materials. Fine. So you have a big market for UPSC. All will give their material. Even I am planning to come up with a current affairs material in few days. So stop searching. Stick to one and rely on one. Fine. Then revision is the key to the success when it comes to this examination. If you have supernatural power of remembering, say, what you read before 10 months, well and good. But I am an average student, and what I did to clear the prelims was revision. So revise and revise until you have concept clarity and until you are very much familiar with that subject. Fine. And friends, again, don't sit with the first chapter for a long period of time. I found many of my friends who are very energetic to start their preparation, but what they do is they sit in the first chapter for hours. Fine. So they go into deep analysis, have their own assumption, start looking for something which is not important for the examination. Fine. And friends, again, let me tell you this, UPSC is not going to ask you from the first chapter. See, you need to cover the first chapter, but the introductory part is not asked in the UPSC examination. Fine. So don't sit with the book. Have the habit of reading the book faster. Fine. So don't waste the time sitting on a specific subject, and don't be determinant that until or unless I will not understand what is this, I will not go for other. Fine. So this is not going to help you. See, understanding of a concept is important, but having a determinant policy that until or unless this is not covered, or until or unless I'm not good with this, I'm not going to move on. No friends, don't be like that. Let me tell you this, if you have that mindset, then you cannot cover the whole syllabus. Fine. So have the habit of fast reading. and take notes. If you don't understand anything, skip the part or make a note of it. Ask doubt from your teacher or from your senior or from your friends after some time. Fine. So if bored, change the topic. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to sit with the same subject. Be flexible, be consistent, have patience with yourself and don't be lazy. But at the same time, take care of your health. I would say have 8 to 10 hours of a sleep per day because your mind will get tired. If you consistently read, say frequently for us, then you need to have a proper sleep. Sleep 8 hours a day. Fine. And then friends, Google and YouTube is your best friend. It should be your best friend and only with respect to this preparation. Fine. So don't waste time in Google and YouTube, sitting in Facebook, WhatsApp or watching unnecessary videos in YouTube. So use them effectively. If you use them effectively, then it is going to be your good friend. Fine. So it is how you behave with them. They are going to behave in the same manner. Okay, so use them effectively. Again, they will be beneficial to you. So don't waste hours in YouTube or Google. It is a big addiction. Let me tell you this. So these are good. Even in YouTube, choose any particular channel or choose any program which you like and follow that. Settle for that. Don't search for more. Fine. And friends, again, let me tell you this. Many have the mindset that I can clear without coaching. Yes, well and good. I appreciate that. But if you happen to be an average student or if you feel that you lack basic concepts clarity, then coaching is important. See, if you have 2 years or 1.5 years of preparation, then well and good, you can complete all these. But if you think that no, I have to complete faster or I need to have a shortcut, then coaching is the shortcut. No other go. Fine. So even watching videos in YouTube is coaching. I hope you got the point. So without guidance, it is very difficult to clear and coaching may help you. But be specific when it comes to coaching. So you have module option available. So choose only those module which may help you. Don't rely only on the coaching because at the end of the day, you are going to read the books which I told to you. Fine. So it may be the same books or it may be some other books as an alternative. But at the end of the day, you have to sit in your study room and then you have to prepare for that. Fine. So don't rely heavily on the coaching. At the same time, don't be in the mindset that coaching is not important for me. Fine. So coaching has its own advantage. Fine. So act according to your situation. Fine. And then friends, have good friends around you. I would say a studious friend who always speaks about UPSC is a good friend when it comes to the field particularly. See, hardly you are going to be with him for 2 or 3 years. Until or unless he is your soulmate. So be with good friends who are studious. And friends, again, talk about UPSC, think about UPSC, feel the UPSC, feel being a bureaucrat. Fine. So this will motivate you. And again, for this, you don't require a separate video. It should be inculcative. Fine. And friends, you do all at the end of the day. It is the 2 hours execution in the examination hall matters. So keep yourself healthy and active at least for the last 1 month before the examination. Fine. So that you can give a clear shot, a best shot in the examination hall. And the last tip is don't ever compare yourself with others because everyone has their own journey here. So if you think a person has cleared the UPSC in his first attempt, yes, he did, but don't compare you with him. Fine. So he was brought up in a different scenario and you are in a different scenario. So the competition to you is you. And please don't place yourself that my friend is knowledgeable, he will clear the examination and at least it will take me say 2 or 3 attempts for me to clear this examination. No, this is not the mindset. This is not going to help you. Don't have that mindset. Everyone has their own journey here. I have seen intelligence from IIT's college gold medalist not clearing this examination and a person from rural background say got 50% in his academics and he is in the service right now. Fine. So at the end of the day, it is the posting matters, it is the rank which the person get matters. So don't place anyone knowledgeable. No one is knowledgeable here. Fine. So even the teacher who teaches don't have the complete knowledge. So don't compare yourself with others and don't place others on the knowledgeable scale. Why I am telling you this is because this will demotivate you. So over a period of days, what you will do is you will start comparing others and you will feel demotivated. So please don't be like that. Have a positive mindset. Always think that you can clear the examination and you will one day. And friends, again, after giving these long tips, let me end up saying this. If you feel bored or if time permits, then you have plenty of options available, and these are the options. Fine. So these are few programs which may help you in the UPSC examination. So after doing all this, if you find time, then opt for this. Okay. So friends, if you like my video, do hit the like button, subscribe my channel, and also give your opinion about the video so that I could improve the quality and I could cover those things which is required to you. Fine. Thank you friends. Thank you for watching.